Am I hearing things twice? No, I guess not. Alright. Twitch is up. Come on, YouTube. You can do it. YouTube claims it's up. Alright. It always complains about the bitrate initially. Welcome to Code Hangouts number 165. Today we're gonna work on a weekly stats page I want to put on the site. So I want to build a script that extracts some stats from the new puzzle database. And I'm gonna set it up, so hopefully it'll run automatically. I don't think I'm gonna finish all of that today. Music's a bit loud. And the idea is we'll have a nice page, and we'll have some stats, and we'll see what the community thinks, and then over time we might add to this page as well. See how it goes. I've opened up the existing counter stats page, which will be replaced by this. And there's something wrong. The fonts are not being loaded correctly. So we'll have a quick looky-loo at that. I'm pretty sure the fonts are loaded in the style sheet, but I might have changed the style sheet, and the style sheet might not be what it used to be. So first of all, let's find this file. It is called counterstats.html, and I was just now trying to figure out where that is housed. I think it might be here. Okay, but the URL is sort of routed in a special way. All right. And it's loading svencodes.css, which doesn't exist here, maybe? Does it not? Sven? No, it does exist. It does have font set as well. So if I look at this, and I'll see what font we have. It says this, Roboto. But that doesn't seem right. Font family. So it is supposed to be whatever, Roboto, right? Nope. Font family. Let me make this a little bigger. Here we go. It's gonna make me type it again. Family Roboto. Is Roboto not a valid font? Oxygen? No. No. Droid. I have none of these fonts. Ubuntu. Oh my god, these aren't default fonts? Wait a second. Are these fonts... Am I loading them in here? Because I'm pretty sure this is the same sort of family, the same font setup, right? Roboto. If I go font family, I want to see if the autocomplete basically kicks in. Roboto. Roboto. Can I search on here on the left side under sources? Is there... I thought there was a search... under network, maybe? Yeah, Roboto. Yeah, so these fonts are being loaded in externally. But something must be referencing them. And... Excuse me. Yeah, I have these WAF files. WAF... WAF. WAF. So these fonts aren't being loaded in the Svencodes CSS. So I'll have to add them in, I guess, at least. So if I... Icons, but no font file. Is there other stuff, other WAFs I need to worry about? Lobster. Lobster is this weird font over there. What's the other one? We have Roboto this and Roboto that. Is there another one? Medium. And lobster. Do we need roboto medium? Roboto medium. Do we need that? Do we even use that anywhere? Front weight, normal, front weight. It's this one. So it's just using that for the heavy roboto look. So for example, if we go here, some of this is heavy, some of this isn't, right? So if I do this, and we'll do something like this. No. I'm gonna undo this in case I deleted something there. No, I don't think I did. Okay. So if we do this and then refresh this, I'm guessing this is now roboto medium. Computed roboto medium. And if I go to here, roboto regular. Okay. And of course, it's now gonna load these two files, but they're coming from Google, so hopefully they're okay. 15K, 16K. Probably not worth it, but it's also not worth having this look like garbage at the moment. So let's put that in. I'm thinking I used to load in style.css and then I stopped doing it or something like that. Or maybe on my other computer I had the roboto fonts installed and I never realized that they were missing. That would be pretty bad. Let us switch over to... Oh, no. That's what we need here. Handle restart puzzle on click. Yeah, this is... I think this is just from experimentation, so we can get rid of this. And we can actually... you just commit this. This doesn't even need a release number. Okay, so... here we go. Let me go organize my multi-chat and all that. Oh, message from change. All right, so... sorry, I just gotta do this quickly. All right, so that fixed the fun thing. So the other thing now is we need to do a couple of things. First of all, do I or do I not have the counters in the database at the moment? So right now, this calls something, right? So this hits the API, and I'm gonna look at the code quickly. So the API is here-ish, or in here? No, where would the API be? Here, let's refresh that. Let's first of all make sure this is hitting my local machine. No, it's not. Okay, so let's change that first of all. So this is outsourced to API. Oh, because that's where the counter data is. Okay, might have to do something about that. Let's restart that. So, all right, so first of all, I'm gonna update. I'm gonna have to be careful that I don't screw something up here. So first of all, we need counterstats.html. Right. The CSS we don't actually need at the moment. Yeah, can just reconnect. Don't care about release notes. You're freaking updating every day. Second of all, this is the URL. Let's make that a little bit saner. Const API URL. API URL. Let's prefix it URL API base. And that'll be just that. Right. And we'll just do something like this. Right. Don't know if the slash should be here, but I think it should be. And then we can now change this to be localhost, but we need to actually run it. And currently it is not running here. And I have to remember how to run it. And to remember it, by remember it, I mean look up where it's written down. So it's gonna run on which port? 1601. So, we're gonna keep that one. Bring this one up. And then we do npm run test API. Run versus test. Do we need the watch at the moment? Gotta be careful. I think it's watching the source folder, so that should be okay. So then we should test if localhost 16 something 001 is running. No, 9015. All right, so that works. So we can switch that to localhost 9015. And that should now be a lot faster. Or it should just hit our local machine much harder. Ooh, okay. All right, that blacks out the stream. That's good to know. So let's look at the CPU cores. Or actually, let's just look at the processes. And now if we're refreshing that, we don't really see anything high up here. 84 milliseconds. It really doesn't take... Holy crap, why does it take so long to run on the server? Is it mostly transmission time? 1 second, let's have a quick look at that. So, it's 1.4 megabytes, but it's compressed to 439. Is it... Is it the compression that takes the time? Let's find out. I think we can just request it locally on the server. So if I go to curl localhost 9015/counter all. If I do time, it gives us that. And if I do top equals 200, top equals 200. So locally on the server, it's less than a second. So is it just, if I open this in new tab? No. If I, no, that's not what I meant. Let's go here. If I say open in new tab. Okay, how big is that? Refresh. 400 kilobyte, 1.4 megabytes. Okay, so the limitation is locally. It takes a second, but that could be just the download time. So what takes so long when I'm running it here? Like 1, 2, 3, you see that? Is that really processing? It could be, right? Let's take a look. So we can do this. We can do console. Actually, let's break it down. So we'll do the await fetch. So we'll time the fetch. Right? Let res equals. Then we'll time the JSON. And we'll do and let's put it in a closure just to make our lives a tiny little bit easier with the namespace pollution here that we're doing. So let JSON equals await.json. And then the final one is we'll do let counters at on the outside here. And we'll just do object.entries as the final timer. Although I don't think that's going to be very slow. That's just for the JSON. It could be one of the parsing steps, right? So if I do this, the top level of await is only valid. Ooh. Async. Wait. Of course, we're doing our little stats graphs here. So, fetch 391 milliseconds. Object, okay. Now, if we change that to the online API, because we know the download takes a second, right? It doesn't actually take that long. Console.time rest. Let's just time the rest of this down till here. And maybe that's where we're spending a bunch of time. I mean, when it's client side, I don't mind too much. So, so the JSON parsing does take some time. How many puzzles with n solves? I think we need to be inside the async function here. Yeah, need to be here for that final console time to hit. Oh, okay, 1.6 seconds. All right, so let's do console time rest 1 and rest 2 and rest 3. Let's see if there's a particular one of these that's super slowish. Rest 2. So rest 1 is nothing. So rest 2 is all of the time. So it's, I'm guessing it's these last two, because it could be some of these functions. Rest2. It's still rest2. Huh. That's unexpected. I'm just basically subdividing what I'm timing until I find where specifically the time gets spent. So maybe some of these functions that these are just my own little functions, quanta, standard deviation, all that stuff. Maybe one of those is really slow. Yeah, now it's either mean, median, or the other one. Is it quantile? Is it STD? Which does not stand for sexually transmitted disease. Yeah, it is this function that's so slow. Why? So maybe I just implemented it really badly? 1 second. What do I do here? I calculate the mean, which uses sum, which uses reduce. Am I doing it like too often? Let's think about this, right? So it does call sum once. It's not that one. It's calling mean for each. Wait, what? Is it recalculating the mean of the array over and over and over? Is that really really? If I rename this, and instead of being such a anal about making this a one-liner, mn equals mean error, because I think array doesn't change throughout here, right? And then just replace this with the fixed variable mn, and now run it. And it's disappeared. Oh my god, it was recalculating the mean for every array element. And the mean, even though the mean is just... Well, it is... So for every array element, it looped over the whole array, added them all together, divided them by the length. And even though that's in itself is not really that big of a deal... I'm guessing the array might be quite long by now. Can I type length? And even though we're only looking at like the top, we still have to go through all of them, right? R.length. R.length. Here. So 46,000 elements. 46,000 elements, which is interesting because I don't think I have that many unique counter IDs in the puzzle database. So for 46,000 elements, we'd have to loop 46,000 times over 46,000. So 46,000 times 46,000, it's a million, right? Several millions. 46000 times 46000. And that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2 billion. So that's 2 billion iterations, and I guess it just adds up. Okay, so that's an easy fix, I suppose. Is there a more elegant way of doing this? Probably not, and I probably don't need to do it any simpler than that. Because that just cuts that 1.6 seconds out, which was the most of that. So we don't need that. And we probably don't need to do all of this timing, because now... Rest is 65 milliseconds. So the entire rest is now completely inconsequential compared to the downloading time. Because, you know, the downloads, I figure, you know, that takes... Oh my god, it's so much better. And the STD now... Wait a second. Did I mess something up? He says, knowing, of course, he has messed it up because there's nobody else to do it. So above count was a blank line, fair enough. Below, above top num was a blank line. Let's get rid of these diffs. And they had the tabs. All right, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. And we just... Because I'm concerned that this comes back as NaN. Let's go back to the prior version. So maybe I did break something? Feels a bit weird. Because now we do get a standard deviation. Wait, what? A minus mean. So this gets us absolute distance for each element. We sum those up. Divide by the length. We get the average. So it's, yeah, it's the square root of the average square error, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. And if I do std2, it fails. std2 fails, not a number. So let's okay, well, not what I thought I was going to fix today, but of course, since this is in a way the precursor to this new stats page, it's good that we fix it and understand it. Okay, we got the mean. Why would it now not work? If I'm gonna output this, I'm gonna have to slice it a bit. Just to make it palatable, right? All right. So we get all these. And then... Oh, because I'm not returning it. Oh my god. I'm such a doofus. Because I changed the function from a self-returning one. Okay. So now we should be doing that, and it should come so much faster. Unless I obviously leave this kind of obvious error in there. Yeah, so much faster. And yeah, it's currently loading. No, it's still loading remotely, so... Okay. I mean, it's still like a second and a half for just loading the data. But now that's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's like 500 milliseconds for load. That parsing is still 500 milliseconds. I'm wondering, because the JSON data is actually super simple. And I'm turning it to an entries object anyways. Huh. Because the other option would be to get the text. So what if I go return here for a sec, and then we'll don't do any of this, right? And then instead of timing JSON, we're timing text. It could be though that the timing here includes the actual receiving of the data. So if we do this, because it's a subset of JSON that we could potentially parse ourselves. I mean, we could also try to parse that. JSON.parse. See if that jives with the timing number we got before. Yeah, this is still so this time includes it includes the waiting for the downloading. Okay, let's try something slightly different. So if we do, we're doing fetch one here, and we'll just say JSON equals JSON.parse this, and we'll await that dot text instead of JSON. And then we'll do a fetch 2, which is basically .json without the json.parse separately. Right, and then we'll say console.log json.stringify json1 equals json.stringify json2, just to verify that that's indeed the same. The color coding is wrong here, so I got a brace missing somewhere. Boom, and fetch. Boom, right? Like that. And then return here. Now it could be that the second fetch is gonna be cached in some way, although the caching should be disabled if we're here. Okay, so by this it looks like the native JSON parsing is faster. All right, but if we switch it, yeah, whichever one comes first is slower because of caching shenanigans. So it's very hard to compare them. But it does seem to be faster to do it this way instead of, like, if I look at this, 361, 95, 387, you know, if we do it this way. It's also like maybe it got warmed up or something. What if I do this? A, B, and C. A, B, C. A, B, C. They get faster and faster and faster. Of course they do. All right, I'm gonna trust that the native stuff is fast enough then. And we're gonna time counters again here. And then we're just gonna remove this. I don't think this is useful. And counters was 1.1 second. I mean, it just adds the object.entries. It's not going to be any different from the other stuff. 900 milliseconds. All right. Close enough to the raw download timing. And now I just got to get rid of any weird artifacts I've introduced. Okay, we changed that. We changed that. And other than that, it's all the same. It's just mildly optimized, really. All right, I'm actually tempted to just upload this straight away. Just because it's just an obvious improvement, right? Yeah. We're just fixing some latency issues and a weird, well, it's not exactly a bug because it was working fine. It's just a bad thing that shouldn't have been there. All right, npm run deploy staging. Wait, that seemed way too fast. Am I deploying from the wrong place? Deploy, not staging. What am I doing? Why is it not giving me an error there? I think at this point I want to deploy beta to production as well. I don't remember what feature I was testing in beta that isn't in production anyways. Alright, and that should mean now this should A, have its font fixed, and B, should become a lot faster than this. And there we go, font fixed, and it loads faster. Alright, it's not gonna be easy on my server. Yeah, no, it's just not gonna burn people's CPUs and stuff. So we should be okay. Alright, let's go back to our actual testing then. So, this data is currently coming from the API system. Now, the API system has its own little counter stuff. The database, on the other hand, I think the counter info in here. Yeah, it doesn't actually have the counter data in there. So the counter data isn't database-ified yet. So I don't actually have access to the counters in here. I can pull them from the API, just as it is done currently, of course. And for the stats page, obviously that makes sense. But that's good to know. So internally, I need to do that. But much more interesting for the stats page is not so much the counter stuff. It's more, I think this is going to be stats for setters or for the site as a whole. And I believe I have some saved something here. Saved aggregations? Where would I find them, though? Count. Open. I have 2 of these. This one doesn't look right. Oh, wait. Unless... Can I... Ah, here we go. So how does this one work? It unwinds on short IDs. So it flattens it out, basically. Then it pulls the short IDs. And then it counts the number of short IDs. On 26, yeah, okay. So the other script that I had sitting in here somewhere, so the PDB count, right? Is that under API? Why would that be under API? I feel like I'm in the wrong folder here. Oh, because I think I was like working on this as part of something I would run on the server anyways. Okay. So what are we doing here? Parse data counts. So puzzledb counts.text. Under db, puzzledb counts. Oh, okay. So this is generated from okay. All right. I'm slowly, my brain is starting. Yeah. So I'm currently running a batch job that generates these counts from the database every hour. So that should enable me to do graphing over time stuff. So we want to fetch that to local, so we can actually, you know, take a look at that. Let's also check disk space on the server, because there's a bunch of stuff. It's 80%. I really need to fetch the other stuff as well. Let's do that as well. The logs especially. So npm run. I think the logs can get a little chunky. So if I go to pm2 cd / cd dot pm2 logs du -h 33 megabytes. That doesn't seem like that's enough. ll ls wait, bash list by size, sort what? I can't list by size. Navigate directory on the following, sort n. Oh, okay. Can I just want to copy this and run that. Bigger directories and files first. That's not usually useful on a long listing. Okay, so they're not very big, which feels strange. If I get rid of the R, still just 33 megabytes, so it's not the logs. Wait a second, that feels wrong. Let's just check the backups right now. So when I'm fetching the log backups, they'll go into PM2 logs, today's dates, 30th of June. Oh, and they're really just 33 megabytes. Okay. Maybe it's not keeping as many logs as I thought, and that might also not be good. Like, these aren't even daily. Wait, 2405. The heck? It's almost here in handle route thumbnail. Somebody was hitting the thumbnail API. Huh. Okay, maybe the logs aren't as busy as I thought they would be. Let's look under proxy. So here are their daily logs, but it's only a month worth. They're not even that big, actually, to be fair. And proxy out, like that's the one that I would expect to be the largest. Even they don't get that big. Okay, that's good. I thought they'd be a lot bigger. All right. Okay, let's fetch this. But that's obviously the counter database. So we need a backup of that. Did the fetch DB. So we want to back up the puzzle DB next. And that's a lot bigger. But we definitely want to do that. Now that's going to run from remote, puzzle DB archive. Okay, so that's something I need to ideally get into the habit of running more regularly. Ideally once a day. That's something I need to figure out in Amazon. Like, it shouldn't run onto my machine. It should go onto another location on Amazon. Okay, so that begs the question then. What is using up bash disk usage? What's using up the disk? Bash disk. So if I say du find large folders, where to find the largest directory or largest file? Sort nr. Apt-get install ncdu. ncdu. Incurses disk usage. Excuse me, using system name refers to a similar purpose disk, but ncdu uses a text-based. User under the curse is program library. Users can navigate the list using the arrow keys and delete ncdu. Okay. Apt. Wait, what was it? Sudo apt-get installed ncdu. Let's see if that works on Amazon Linux machine. Is it maybe yum? Maybe I'm lucky. And then how do we use it? So it says install that. Okay. All right. Sounds like something ncdu. Ooh, look at that. Ah, wait. Press question mark for help. Move cursor up. Open parent directory. All right, ncdu here. Okay. CTC app. npm 200 megabytes dump.tar.gz. Okay, that's probably the database dump that I've probably uploaded a while ago. That's probably logs and such. Cache. Okay, that's not too bad. CTC app. What's in here? ncdu. I'm guessing that's just basically a copy. Oh, node modules is what's big here. All right. /var/ncdu. 8 gigabytes. Okay, that's big. Where do these gigabytes sit? Alright, I'm gonna check the chats quickly because it's been very quiet. And even for me, that's very quiet. Alright, nobody here today. Fair enough. 8 gig... 8 gigabytes. The SudokuPad app has 2.4 gigabytes. Core. Are these core dumps? Linux large core files. Oh. So we had core dumps. That's weird. Core files doesn't allow crash dumps, yada yada yada. Doesn't allow them to be written. Setting zeros. When did these happen? In December. Okay. Okay, so that's a couple of gigabytes I can just get rid of. I wouldn't know what to do with them anyways. Okay. Thanks for not telling me, I guess. Let's make sure the site is still up. Nope. Alright, still running. So there was another couple of multi-gigabyte ones, SudokuPad.app. So that also looks like a core dump. But where is it? This is fairly quick, to be honest. Maybe not. Maybe it's just... Oop, CD Pro. API. And CDU. Is it really like 560 megabytes of puzzle data now? I did not realize we were already at that level. I mean, eventually I'll be able to get rid of that. Right now, I'll still want to keep that because I don't know how reliable the API... Yeah, 500 megabytes. All right, fair enough. So good that we got rid of those core dumps. NCDU, let's have another look. Backup, back. What's in here? Yes. So that's currently happening through... That's happening through cron jobs, I think. Those I want to keep, actually, and I want to pull those down. Backup API. This is... Yeah, okay, I forgot to pull that one. So, npm run. Oh, can create session, failed to connect to MongoDB. Look out for a selection error. Server selection timeout. Oh, I need to run a tunnel somewhere here. npm run npm run mongo tunnel. I think I need to do that first. And then I can go to here. Yeah. Now this is gonna be... That's the API. That's not the backup here. That's the backup. We want to run that one as well. I wish I had better insight in what it's doing exactly. 1.0 file change as we read it. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. rsync. So rsync file changed as we read. Can we just ignore those? Close all of the... Yeah, no, it's on a server. I can't do this. Can I just ignore that? Ignored failed read doesn't help. Alright, so this is... What did we just do? Fetch. Yeah, we've pulled the backups. That's good. So finally we're gonna run this. This is gonna be bigger because it's like a gigabyte of data. Whoops. But when we're messing with this stuff, it's best to do that. Alright, in the meantime, we can leave this alone. So in the meantime, let's go back to looking at... yeah, we gotta do two things. We gotta set up the page, and then we gotta think about what kind of stats we want to add. But I'm happy to kind of create a page first with just some random stats, and then have people sort of submit what stats they'd like to see. And ideally, I need to come up with some generic way of having a link, either just link to an email address or have some generic form tool or something for people to let them submit suggestions of some kind or another, right? So, or even a link to a Google form, I suppose. That's worked in the past. Let me remember how I do pages in this crazy setup of mine. So, last time under help, we had stuff. I think Demo HTML is now set up to generically route through. But if we want to add other folders, I think I currently need to add them in here, which is a little bit of a pain in the ass. Yeah. Could they be under help? Because I'm thinking, oh, a generic prefix under SudokuPad.app that just lists, that lets me do stuff, right? I think it's fine to put it under help for now. So if I do help and bookmarklets, help puzzle links. Oh yeah, okay, so this was for a feature. So if I look at help, help puzzle links, and then I created this sort of page. So if we do something new here, and we'll save it as, I don't know, weekly stats, something like that, right? And we'll get back to that in a minute. All right, and then for now, we're just gonna clone that over. We're gonna call weekly stats, and that loads up no problemo. And now we're gonna change some of that. Weekly stats. Now, ideally, this isn't done client side. Weekly SudokuPad stats. Boom. Am I saving this under weekly stats? Yes. Am I saying disable cache? Yes. Is it still caching it? Also, yes. We probably need to change it to run the watch script here. So watch dub dub dub. So every time I save, it'll restart the server. So if I go here, the Mongo tunnel we might need, so I'm gonna... No, I don't need that. npm run watch dub dub dub. So if I run this... wrong place. So, if I do this and then refresh that, there we go. All right, we can get rid of these bits. Yeah, we can get rid of all of these. Like that. All right, and we can get rid of this article as well. Okay. And then we're just going to make this blank for now. Now, I don't really want to make a bunch of API calls because I don't really want to Yeah, so this file needs to be... I basically want to run a script on the server as a cron job that basically either generates this file or generates a file that gets inserted here or generates a file that this file can load basically for the stats. And that'll be fine. So it could be just a JSON file with the raw stats in it, and that's just served as a static file. I think that makes sense. Let's just see. This got this far. And then the backup should go under SudokuPad, MongoDB, this file. And that's the one we tried earlier that didn't come through. Yeah, so it's already 397 megabytes for the compressed file. Well, that's fine. That's fine. And if I refresh that, okay. So the kind of stats I can easily pull are, of course, since short IDs have dates and times associated with them, I believe. So if I look at this aggregation, right, can I view that as like this? Like that. And I'll probably switch out of this into like just a JavaScript script that I can run. Yeah, I can't even format this properly. I can't even look at you. Yeah, I don't want this. Can I have a format? If I format this as JSON, is that gonna work? Maybe. So, get rid of that. Get rid of that. So we're counting short ID count. We'll rejecting this. And we're unwinding this. Like that. Right. Now, here, ideally, we'll be able to filter by dates and times and whatnots. So we might actually go back to this view. And we're projecting short ID. And we have also, we should have creation times, right? So we should be able to do, or should we do M time, modified time? In fact, is modified time earlier than creation time here? Okay, because these were pulled in probably from the files. So let's ignore M time for now. We'll do short IDs dot M time dot C time. All right. And then we'll do a MongoDB filter by date. And that should be trivial, right? So we'll do something like that. And of course, that will have to be then generically done. All right, so instead of count here, short ID count, write the field name for the count. Yeah, no. Now we want to match. Actually, we're gonna just delete the stage. And then we're gonna add a stage here. And we're gonna match. And we're gonna what? We're gonna say, wait, that's on the wrong side. Yeah, we want it after. No, wait, we are unbinding here. So after the projection, we want to match where M time, C time, nope, where, what's the example again? Created at, putting this together, the query would look like we want is, use the dates, yada yada. So we want C time, and then basically something like this, right? Unexpected token, expected comma. C time greater than that, less than that, C time. Unexpected token 7, 8. Wait, that's the wrong kind of brace. All right, so we'll say something 7 days ago. So we'll say 2406 is greater than equal 0623. And this is just an example, but basically we'll filter out the week, right? 30. And that would be the week from, actually we want 24, right? Okay. Now that doesn't work. Now the question is this an and or an or? Wrap strings and IZ. Okay, so MongoDB filter or match LTE GTE range. MongoDB match date range. Okay, fine. Less than greater than. I think I might have to do an and thing with the match. Match and. So maybe wire and? So if I say and array, these two things, right? Is that and wrong? No, no, no. Dollar match. Oh, okay. No, the other way around. So match, the ant needs to be out here. And then we'll have to do 2 C times. One like this. Like here. And then we'll do another C time less than or equal to 30 without the comma. Then that goes here. That goes away. Like that. Right? Unexpected comma. And match. And we need these on the outside here. Like that. And it likes that. Okay, can I comment this out? No preview. So match anything that's smaller than this date, which should be all of them. Right? Let's do something else. Let us do a quick lookup. So we go to puzzle. Oh, wait. It's not going to have newer dates in it because I'm looking at the local database. So if I look at the new window, if I connect to the remote database, and then go in here, go in here, go here, change that, and then go here. I'll change it to that, insert that, change it back to stages. And now we're looking at this, and what do we get now? We are now... Ugh, all the stupid comments. Get rid of that. Why does it add all this garbage? Oh, man. Don't add all this garbage. This makes it all freaking unreadable. Alright. And now we should be able to add just less than and greater than with the and. rid of that silly formatting, which really doesn't help in this kind of situation. Oh, really? 1 pixel? Giving me 1 pixel? Alright, so this gets us a bunch of stuff here. 27, 24, right. And then at the end, we should be able to count... counter... short IDs in range. Short IDs count. Right. So that's 3,300... 3,315. Now, if I change this to be the 29th, i.e. just 1 day, it gets me 517. And if I say 28 to 29, 568. Okay. So that should be correct now. Okay, so let's translate that to some JavaScript. And I think we want to run this as an individual separate script. Should it live in here though? It doesn't necessarily have to. Let's this could be a completely independent thing. It could basically live in the jobs folder, because that's kind of what it is, right? And it'll be kind of like this. So let's do something like that. Create... Oh, let's save this as create weekly stats.mjs for reasons, right? And we're basically just going to copy all of this over. Excuse me. And then we'll see. We're connecting. We're doing things. Then we'll run our aggregate, and then it'll close, right? So that's gonna be under here. CD Sudoku. No. Sven codes. So if I do node is it on the SRC? No. Node jobs create. Okay. Now if I switch it to this, it should run against the remote database, right? Even from local. And I should be able to take the aggregate we were building here. Right. Count aggregate. Ooh, I hate this syntax. Why does it do this? Holy moly, how obnoxious can you be with your formatting? Jeez. Holy moly. This is the syntax. It's just, who designed this? Somebody was too lazy to think for 2 seconds. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. All right. So I think our little resolve counters, what does it do? Count aggregate. Count aggregate. Doc count. So this does what exactly? It resolves these counters. Multiple counters, so it runs multiple aggregates. Okay, so this would just be one of them. So it just has the count at the end. Okay, all right. So we should be able to do this. We'll have one counter, and the counter consists of a name. No, the counters are a list. Object like that. All right, so name counters. We'll call this weekly short IDs. Or weekly IDs, right? Let's stay verbose here. And it'll be this. It'll be an array, right? So we'll first do the unwind. Right? Then we'll do the project. So we'll basically just copy these steps in here and, you know, sanitize the syntax a little bit so I don't go crazy. Then we have the match. And actually, that's just it, right? The match is the final step. Now, these dates, I don't know if we have to pass in JavaScript dates. We might have to. Is that it? No. One sec. From here to here, we'll close the end here, not there. And then that's the close of the weekly short ID steps, right? I think so. And can fan package imported from? It's not installed here. npm install save MongoDB. We'll definitely need the MongoDB driver. So I'm basically just laying out the infrastructure now. So I just want to have an example. I want to have some numbers that I can put on the page. And then over time, we can add to it and, like, you know, have graphs over time and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I think we're actually going to use just regular JavaScript dates. And I think we can make a date from this kind of string. Yeah. So we'll just say new date. New date. Boom. I think that should work. There shouldn't be any ISO dates in here. This is just gibberish. Okay. 3,314. Sweet. All right. And then we can make this a function of date ranges and whatnots. I just had this up as an example. So, and we can run a bunch of these in parallel. We should probably time it. So something like const get week get date range stats, get weekly stats. Do we for now, I think we'll just wrap this up in here. Do we care about the date? What I'm thinking about basically is, do we want to create from today 7 days ago so we can run it on any day? Or should it run, like, if it's running a day late, it should still generate the stats from 8 days ago to 1 day ago, for example, that kind of thing. I think that makes more sense, right? So we'll just say something like, let's comment this out for a sec. We'll just say let start date equals date dot new date. Actually, if I say new date, and then I'll just immediately convert it to ISO string, right? Dot split. So that gets us T0, right? Dot split T 0. And then we'll say new date again. And that'll get us in the time zone of the server. Which, is that what we want? Maybe not. Because this is in my local time. Oh, How do I convert that? JavaScript date from ISO date. ISO state string date object. The question is, in the database, are those dates server relative? No, they don't have a time zone given? No, I think they are normalized, right? I'm just thinking we need to... Okay, what if I say plus t 0000 like that? And if I say, basically, if I reverse engineering the ISO times the ISO string, like this part, if I do this. And then I'll do this, and I'll put this bit in here. So 00.000. Yeah, so that gets me 2 a.m. Okay, so that would be midnight GMT. Except we don't want it midnight GMT. We want it midnight my time. Oh, that's annoying. Wait, JavaScript create JavaScript date with specific time zone. Basically, I want it to be midnight in CET. Shifted. Oh my god, this looks very complicated. Really? I need to do all of that? Date in destination time zone. Initialize the date in UTC time zone. Temporal proposal. If it gets to standard, we'll get a better. I prefer for doing this. Initialization date string. So we get a date object. This is how the date looks in ISO date string. So it should take this date and change something. Didn't change anything. So ISO date string. Because it's not always going to be +2, right? I want it to be correct for summer and winter and all that stuff. I guess the easiest would be to go midnight GMT. Let's just do that for now. If I want to change that in the future, that's fine. All right, so that gets us the start date. Right, and then let end date date equals new date start date dot value of minus 7 times 24 times 3600 times 1000. Right? And I think that'll do the trick. All right. And I was missing commas. And I'm still missing something. What am I still missing? Start. Nope, there's a comma there. So, end is 23rd midnight. No, that'll be the start. So that'll be end date. Then start date will be the reverse, right? Start date, la da da. And we said 7 times. But since we're including both dates, we'll actually do 6 times. Cannot access start date before initialization. Start date equals end date minus yada yada, right? Okay. And then we can do this. Or we can just do this, right? Wait. And we'll just say, we'll keep these here. Start date and end date. And that does what? We need to probably pass it puzzle info. Three, 3, 1, 5. Okay. Yeah. And now we're gonna add some other stats. And some of the other stats will be a little bit more involved, like things like most played puzzles. Can we do most played puzzles at the moment? Probably not, because we don't have the puzzle counts from the previous week. But if we start recording them, we could get the deltas. Puzzle solves, let me think. Puzzles created by... So that's like, that's stuff where hopefully I can kind of use these dates. So if we group these 3,000... Yeah, basically we can get these puzzles and now we can group them in various ways, right? And it might actually be better that instead of getting the count at this point, that we'll just look at what it gives us in terms of final result, right? So if I go back here, and the problem is at this point, the question is, can we do the filter without the project? So if I get rid of that, right, and then I'll say instead of filtering this, we'll actually filter short ID dot C time, and then short ID dot C time. Sure, do see time. If you have a field name that starts with a symbol, consider using get field or set field. Unknown top level or get field. All right, I'm not familiar with these. The other option is to just do it programmatically. All right, so get field. What does that do? Man, I find SQL syntax easier to understand than this stuff. This seems so complex. You want to return a value, field can be any value. So why can't I just have all the fields? Why do I need this? Returns the fields. So MongoDB aggregate, do I need to get field to match? Everything okay? All right. Gotcha, guys. So I'll wind down like in an hour? Yeah. Anything you need me to do with the oven or anything? Ah, excellent. Have fun, guys. All right. Get a field value on the basis of condition. So do I have to get field? If I want to MongoDB aggregate get all fields. I want to get all fields. Why do I have to get field not what I want to do. Why do I have to get field if I want to get all fields, and not using get field gets me all the fields? That's what I don't understand. Unknown top level. If you have a field name that starts with a dollar symbol, consider using get field or set field. What if I do this? I don't know what the dollar means. What if I change this to get field? Well, we already unwound. So not passed in the pipeline. So if I say add new fields with a computed value, no. Can I group limit? Look up match. Filters the document stream to allow only matching documents to pass through the subsequent stages. Do I need to do unwind first? I probably don't even need to do unwind. Can I just add something up here and just do immediately match? And I want to match short IDs.c times greater or equal to ISO date. Oh my god, what is it doing? ISO date 2024-06-30. And here we're gonna do less than or equal. Okay. And can I can't do the same one again, that's for sure. Match. Can I match more than one thing? So if I do and then just add this in there like that. Can I do match and? Using and with match. So match and then have these be objects. Okay. So we should be able to do this again and then say greater equals to yada yada 24. Okay. So that should get us all the stuff. It doesn't get us the number of doesn't get us the actual count in the end here. Well, it's different, right? Because we're not pulling things apart first. But potentially we can do other things now. Right. So if I do this, I don't return anything at this point. And we'll just use this start time, end time thing. Right, we have our little steps here. We'll put a count step in the end. Sure, why not for now. And then here we'll do our dollar match. Then we'll do dollar and. Like that. And then we'll have these two guys here. Same as we did before. In fact, we'll just put that in this line. Then if we run that, we probably... something wrong somewhere. Call is not defined. Yeah. That's the collection, right? It gets us the 3315. But now we can also do other things, right? So we obviously want the total count. And probably we want the unwind count at this point. But we also want things like, hey Josh. Thanks for saying that. Thanks for stopping by, appreciate it. Can get lonely in here sometimes because it's a bit technical. Like I'm not really, you know, I'm not presenting, I'm not teaching. I'm just getting work done, to be honest. All right, so what I really want to do in a situation like this is something like a group. We want to group by author. Yeah. Not exactly. Is it puzzle.json.author? Is it that? Oh, can I change the size of this puzzle.json? No, we just want to get author, root author. Stage name is invalid. If I just name it to something different. Author. And then accumulator is what? Accumulator. Aggregate group. I've done group before. In fact, have I done group in... I don't think that's helpful. Have I done group in... Read weekly stats? No. Counter stats? No. Count base. Have I done group down here? Project, unwind. We've done unwinding. Alright, well. Ooh, not what I wanted. Field accumulator expression. Accumulator is what? Average bottom count. So count should work as accumulator here. Count. And then what does it want? God, even that. It's counting an expression. Great. What's a valid expression? Group ID first. How is first an accumulator? So wait. Y column. Why is this author here? Pause by author. Count. Count the number ones. Count takes no arguments. Oh. Yeah, group something that has only one of each item. That's not frickin' a good example, is it now? Sheesh. Alright, what are we grouping here? Count. Yeah, this is also, it's not grouping by anything. Both of their examples are completely, this is just counting all items. So it's not telling you how the counting works. Are you kidding me? Group underscore ID. So I can do author colon $author. Like, how does that make sense? And then they're reusing the... Holy crap, how do they manage to put two examples in here that precisely do not demonstrate anything about this command? Sorry, Josh. I'm getting grumpy and I shouldn't. I shouldn't. This is just so stupid. Plus by author. Okay. The ID is an object, which is the author. Can the ID just be the author? Alright, that's nice. Alright, puzzles. So we can call it that. We can just count. Okay. Alright. So let's just see what that looks like. Here. So instead of doing that, we're gonna do this. No, we're gonna do group. And that'll has these two properties. And then that. Right? And that'll get us what? Undefined. Did I not transcribe this to your satisfaction? Puzzles count. Puzzles. ID $author. And without the count at the end. This should just get us the docs. Let us actually clean this up before I start messing with it too much. So we'll do this one first. We'll do let res equal. Then we can just say console.log res like that, right? And then we don't need to keep this around. And then we have this part underneath. And now we're gonna figure out where it all falls flat. Because it's working here. Of course, the syntax might be slightly different here. Do I need to quote that? I don't think so. If I change this to sum, and then just put a 1 here, it should sum ones together. But it's a different number than before. Or no, it's just a different order, perhaps? Dollar sum 1. No errors, though. Maybe there's like an error revealed in here. Should get a root error here if there's an error. We're connecting to the remote, so it should be the same as that. We're using puzzle info as our collection. We're filtering by the dates. I mean, we can skip that. See if we can just connect by group, by whatever. Let's connect locally for a second. Because we might have some problems, like if I'm suddenly listing 100,000 items out, you know. Okay, let us look at our Sudoku data script and see if I used group before. Pretty sure I did. Here we go. So count someone, short IDs, add to set, puzzle raw. So we've done an aggregate with count with group in it. So it's group. ID is yes, yeah. And we did even the dollar sum 1. And we just called it count. Dollar sum 1. And then return. Oh, what the hell? What the hell? Okay, yes, of course. Hey, there we go. All right, all right. And I guess we should do that as well. Okay, now the question is, can we, in a singular query, count the different types of things, right? Because we want to count unique puzzle IDs as well as total puzzles and so on and so forth. So if we do something like that, and if we first unwind on short IDs, that should give us a larger number. We can do that after the match, right? So we don't deal with as much data. And then we have to go back to the remote data. Remote. No, that doesn't work suddenly. What? Wait. Greater equals start date, less than equals end date. If I remove that, we'll get an unwind here. What if we go 1 day? We'll temporarily get rid of the group, and I just look at what all the data is that we get for 1 day. Greater equals to 29, smaller equals to 30. Are we not looking at the remote data at the moment? We should be. I think I can close this for now. Regain some space here. I don't understand why we're not getting anything here. Doing this aggregate. Let's skip this altogether and see if we can get this to put anything out right now. Like if I match and I don't unwind or anything else, it should just output everything. Like we cannot add something later and then get more. That doesn't make any sense. Am I missing a step after the aggregate? Do I need to like execute it or something? IP process aggregate match group. And the annoying thing is I don't even get a syntax error or anything. So if I do this, and then I'll just do a break here. We get at least one. Yeah, we definitely. Okay, so we're getting one here. Okay, so we're getting one here. So if I now say, let's do a match on less than or equal to end date, like that. Okay. If we get rid of the and then just have this. If I do a try catch here, do I get an error? Catch. Console error. What? Yeah, no, we don't even get an error. That's the weird thing. Am I syntaxing this correctly? Match short ID not in. Match see. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait, what? Oh my god, I did change it here and then didn't see it. So if I do this, will that do a thing? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, all right. Why? Oh, why will this not syntax error? Because we're working in an untyped language and it's an untyped database and it didn't know that this isn't what I wanted to do. Oh man, I hate when I'm not super familiar with a particular system. Being really familiar with lots of stuff makes it harder, for me at least, when you don't understand or know enough about something. All right, so that gets us the data point now. And we can go back to filtering by 0.25, quarter of a day, say. Right? And then, and in fact, we can just do a limit 1 at the bottom. Then we don't have to worry too much about this. But now we should be able to unwind. And we should be able to do limit a bit more, maybe. The problem is the unwind won't tell us much if there was only one to begin with. Short IDs. Oh yeah, wait. If we do this without the break, we should have more than one, yeah. And instead of our short IDs array, it should be our short IDs object. Sweet, okay. So I think that does what I think it should do. So now we're getting an individual entry for every short ID. We might want to match again because we might want to eliminate short IDs that happen before the period, right? And then we should be able to group and count. And I wish we could do a unique count here and do multiple counts in one thing, but I don't think that's going to be possible. Instead of sum 1, we should be able to do counts. Okay. So, and then later on we can slice it other ways. We can say, okay, give me the puzzle, group it by puzzle ID, and then give me the puzzle with the most short IDs or something like that, right? Now, this is currently per short ID. And we're grouping it by author. Zip-a-dip-doo. What if I want to group it by... So what if I want to aggregate and then count unique things? So let's see, MongoDB aggregate count unique. Counting distinct fields, yes. So after we're grouping by author, we need to also group by something else, I guess. Vendor, number, sum 1. ID account. So it's exactly what he's doing. He's grouping twice. So account ABC, account ABC. Account ABC, vendor count 2. And I think it'd be something like this. Okay, so we're trying to write an aggregation and find accounts that use multiple payment sources. Typical data would be account ABC, vendor, account ABC, vendor. So I think it's better if you execute like the following, which will avoid unwind. Do not see why somebody would have to use group twice. Because this doesn't count unique. Name group by group ID rather than select distinct. Yeah, the answer is wrong. An account will have the same vendor twice. Assumes the number of documents for each account is the same as the number of distinct vendors. Yeah, this is wrong. So if you execute the following, which would avoid unwind. So we're grouping by account, vendor. Okay, so we need to group by two things. So if we group by author and what do we call it? Puzzle ID? Puzzle. What's the data we'd have in here? Counter ID. Counter ID. Dollar counter. I hate that you have to duplicate everything over and over and over. Jeez. Let's do this. Okay. So that'll get us unique counter IDs per author. Right? Right. So if I do this now. So New York Times has one easy puzzle, but that's not correct. Oh, and then I think we'll... so it'll give us a bunch of these pairs. And then we need to group again. And I think that's the other group then. So then we'll do a second group. Let's get rid of this for a sec. Right. And then we'll do... Now we group just by author. And then, in fact, we don't even need a count for the first one. We don't... The number doesn't really... The count doesn't mean anything here. So if we do this, null puzzles 213. What? What? Wait, what? Because now we'll have a bunch of these and we'll group them. Wait, no, we'll need to group them by, yeah, by $_ID dot author. Right. And now if I get enough of these in there, if I do something like sort by puzzles 1, comma, does that get us there? -1, reverse order sorting. Then that'll give us the 10 highest. So there's, okay, blank. There's 9 puzzles with blank authors, but New York Times will have 6 puzzles. And that is not right, though. Wait, it's in 1 day. What if we do a match on this initially? Something like author, New York Times. Can we extract just these? And then instead of grouping them, can I... instead of grouping them the second time, I'm just gonna look at what the output is. So we've got June 30th, June 29th, and 30th. Okay, so that is why, because we said these 2 days inclusive. So it's 1 less than the day. So if I want to have 1 day, I'll say 0. And it'll, it should still work. Because, it should still give us something. Greater than equals start date, less than equals to end date. Oh, because it's at midnight, right? So it'll only work for if it's exactly that. So we don't actually want that. We want start date. We want to have strictly greater than start date and less than or equals to end date, and then make this 1, and then that gives us 1 day's worth of data, right? So if I do this grouping, that should give us exactly... God damn it. So we're saying... wait, we're doing this twice. Yeah, we want to do this first before we unwind. Then we unwind, and then we do it again. Get rid of all the extras. And this first one means that we don't unwind the whole database, right? Now we're saying greater than start date, greater than 29. But the whole day will be greater than that. Less than or equal to the end date. So the problem is the end date, we actually want the end date to be 1 day further ahead than that. So we want the current date, but we actually want to add this whole thing, right? Yeah. All right. Const ms per day. So it's this, right? Then here we want to do new date, this dot value of value off, and then we'll add one of them, right? And then we'll do a new date. And then what does that look like? New date. I think we need an X brace here. So it's basically technically using midnight tonight, but it's actually the date of tomorrow as the end date. And then we'll subtract the exact number of days, which is 1, which gets us today. And that'll get us medium and hard, but not easy for some reason. Why not easy? Why not easy? What if I get rid of the second here, this one? And what if I get rid of this as well? How many do I end up with? So we have... Why is this one here? How do you get a random short ID here? Okay. Wait, what? Ah, maybe 2 days puzzles aren't out yet? Is that right? Is that possible? This is gonna be hard to follow along. So... Oh, because here I'm not actually seeing the short IDs. My brain hurts. My brain hurts. What if we also have short ID? Dollar short ID. And I think that needs to be short IDs dot short ID or something. Short IDs, short IDs dot short ID. Okay, so this is gonna multiply here, but what do we get? We get 630 medium hard, 29 medium, and 30 easy. And then we get these two, which come in extra. Why? Medium, easy, 29. Medium, 30. So we have 2 on... No, we have 3 on 30, but only 1... What the frick? What the heck? Can I... Create new. Confirm. I want to do a match stage where author Thor equals New York Times. Right. Add stage. Then we want to match and it'll be short IDs dot C time is GTE equals, wait, GT ISO date 2024-06-29. Oh yeah. Add stage. And then we'll do this again, but with, well, we don't need the less then for now. And then we'll do project specification. What? Expected. Find project. Checked. So we want short ID equals short IDs like that. Dot short ID. But first, here we want to do an unwind on short. Nope. Short IDs. Right? And then we'll project the short ID out. Okay. And run. So that gets us easy, medium, hard for 29, easy, medium, hard for 30. Why is that not what I'm seeing here? Because the time zones. Short ID C time. Short IDs dot C time. Run. So we were missing what we were missing. We were missing, let's say, we had June 30 times 3, 29. Wait, June 30. June 30, 30, 30, 29. So 29 we were missing a bunch. So 29 hard. That was done 0203. 0203, 0203. Does that not jive with my times here? 29. And then these were done on the 30th. How were they done again, though? Wait a second. Where do these come from? These should not be possible. $25, 2024 hard. January 20. No, wait a second. Oh, what? What? Let's project title and author while we're here. Right. If I run that, January 25. Why does that get at? Oh, maybe this is before we ran it. But it wouldn't get auto-generated. Okay, why is that a date today? Okay, well, we can exclude... Well, we don't need to exclude it. I don't know why it got created, but it got created. Maybe somebody needed it or something, or somewhere something linked to something. I don't know. Okay, but that's explaining that. Now, what it doesn't explain is 29 hard, 29 NYT hard, June 30. So that's the one that gets updated. I have to clean up that script. Why is this one in here then? Because it was done just after midnight. Why was this done just after midnight? So that's a bit of a problem because it means I cannot... Well, it's not really a problem. It's like the date and time of the creation of this item doesn't necessarily correspond with when that puzzle was published, right? So, it's actually not surprising that this isn't necessarily reliable. Does that mean the script wasn't running properly? Like, it ran an hour late. So it seems to run around midnight. So it's just around the edge of my time zones. Okay, so, but it means so far everything actually looks correct as far as what my script is meant to do. So, it's just wasted a bit of my time and thrown me for a loop. But if I do this, so this groups us by counter IDs. So if I do this, right, and if I say 7 days now, greater than but less than or equal to less than. Well, no, it can be strictly less than because these dates are just midnight. Boom, moment in time, right? And then that's for 6 days, right? And then we can group again by author. Like that. And now we know New York Times has 19 unique counter IDs, which should group those other messy ones together. In fact, if I remove that and just do a count at the end, what do we get? We have 19, and if I do this group, include it, still have 19. Yeah, because those extra puzzles are actually from different... Yeah, they have their own counter IDs and so on. Okay. And then if I do this... Now if I remove... match... Don't need that. If I remove this... Sorry, this is painful to anybody who knows MongoDB better than me. We'll get that. And now this is... Yeah, these are the ones I'm playing. Allfly Camplink's just been super busy this week, I guess. Bill Murphy's done 17, right? And if we go higher, we should get top 100. Like that. Right. So, and we'll probably do a match on author not being that. So we can probably do something like... since we're in an and here anyways, we can do author is not equal empty string. Like that. Exclude empty string authors. Like that. And do maybe just a top 10? Although maybe just the top 10... You know, but then down the line, maybe we'll do like fastest rising or new on the list or whatever. But the top 10 might often include some of these generated puzzles and the other people, the gas people and so on and so forth. Okay. And now if we do something like that also for unique short IDs. So instead of counter ID, we'll do short ID. Like that. Right. And then, for example, Samo Piano has done 140 puzzles. And I'm kind of curious what gives, right? What if we just go here? And I'll just say... not aggregation. I want to do documents, and I'll just say, can I just say author? Like that. 367. Holy moly. Little Islands, Mini Ranban, Super on the Rosie. So where the hell do all these suddenly come from? And if I look at the short IDs... Wait, 367. Why do I have so many of them fitting into that date range? Maybe they have been recreated for some reason? Like, for example, none of these should be in there. Huh. Okay, so what if we say short IDs dot ctime, and then we'll say GTE ISO date 2024-06-24. Find 140. Okay, that's exactly the number we have. So he's just created 140 new puzzles. Huh. All right. Wow. Didn't know that. And that's why I'm making this page, to find out these things. All right. So, but wait a second. Why are there so many short IDs and not that many? Oh, they're all nameless Sudokus. Oh, I see. So what if we do something like get unique get. I wonder if we do like if we wanna. So there's a bunch of pre-filtering here. Right. So what if I do something like this? Const steps. Just gonna make a constant array, and we're just gonna add some stuff in here, right? And we're not even gonna bother with const, because why? And then we'll just do this, right? Filters. Filter steps. So if I do something like this, now I'll do filter steps, right? And then I'll do this. And then we potentially want to run a bunch of these in parallel, right? So do we want to have this? So we'll do get aggregate. So we'll do this. Get aggregate cursor is aggregate steps. And then we'll just do let res equals boom. Or blah blah blah. Res dot push doc. And then return res. Right? So we should be able to do something like this. And we'll just do something like console.log await get aggregate collection these steps and that's it, right? So get aggregate, and then we'll just have this array in here as the steps argument, right? And boom, boom, boom. Get aggregate. Unexpected end of input. Did I miss something up here? Turn res dot push cursor. Construct of cursor steps get aggregate. Is there anything wrong there? I spent what? Where did I? Huh? What am I getting wrong? This thing here. What the heck is that doing there? Okay. Let's see. I gotta shut down soon. Anyways. Okay. And I should be able to do the same thing with the other one. So that's the counter ID one. Right? Okay. And then we should be able to run them in parallel, yada yada yada, right? This postfix here is also the same, basically. So annoying that it has to be underscore ID. My god, that drives me crazy. All this modern stuff, and then you're forced to pick a... Can I just call it whatever I want? Nope. Jeez, alright. We'll probably have to like use some sort of project or whatever. Okay. And we now can also do stuff... So this gets us short IDs per author, and then we can do other things like we could do new puzzles per day. Can we? Yeah. Yeah, I mean we could run this for each day really. Or we could just group them by date. We can date format out into the raw date and then just do that. So so these are our per author thing, but if I want to bring in the aggregate here, so we'll do our filter steps. We'll do the unwind, which is already part of the filter steps. And the match is already done. And then instead of doing that and the sorting and the other things, all we need to really do is this, right? It'll get us these, which we'll then just need to count, right? And then we can just do count. Count. Right? Right. And we don't need the limit for this one. Don't need any of that stuff. And we can also do this for do we I guess the only reason why we're not grouping here is because we know that... So we're probably better off doing the grouping here. We'll just, instead of grouping by author, we're just grouping by counter ID. And then we'll do something like that. Like if I do this... Oop. What do we get? We'll get that. And if we do the same thing again, but instead of counter ID, we do by short ID. So we can just do this, I guess. Aha. Yeah. We don't actually need that then. We don't need that. If I just want the unique IDs, right? We can just do this. I think I need an extra one here. And then we'll just do the count. Should have confirmed what the numbers were before. And that should get us that. And then we can do a whole bunch of these. Most countries. Kind of do that. Huh. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it here. There's obviously a lot of work left to be done, but this gets us like a start of some basic numbers, right? So we have unique short IDs created that week. We have unique puzzles or counter IDs created that week. We have counter IDs per... Alright, so we'll just say that we call this unique counter IDs. You know what? I'll give this something. Unique counter IDs. Unique short IDs. And then this is basically the same thing, right? Instead of just puzzles, we'll call it unique counter IDs and unique short IDs. And then up here, we don't actually use this count for anything. So we don't care how many... This is the count of ununique things, I guess. Like that? Nope, one more. 3 and 4, yeah. So that's unique short IDs, unique counter IDs per yada yada. Sorted by this, and then here sorted by that. Okay, so Mr. Paul Flea Campling has the most unique counter IDs for this week, but Samo Piano has the most unique short IDs for this week. And then we can, we should be able to reverse this. Instead of by author, we could do something per title, right? So we could say something like, Group title. And then we don't actually do this, and we don't do that. What do we get? We'll just get a bunch of titles. We get the top 20. Okay, good that I have those in. We want to title, and then we'll do unique short IDs per title. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to make unique counter IDs because they incorporate the title. And I think we need that. That's a lot of braces. Count. Unique short IDs count. Title. ID. And then unique short IDs like that. And unique short per title. And then we want to sort like that. And I can just pause these for a sec here because they take a moment to run. Especially since it's going to the remote server, which I'm kind of hammering at the moment. Okay, name the Sudoku 506. Yeah, alright. We might want to filter out completely unnamed Sudokus, although, you know, that's fine. And maybe just the top 10. So this is the top 10 unique short IDs per puzzle. Alright, so something is working. So this might be a little bit dangerous because people might not want to reveal their names there. So I don't know how I'm gonna deal with that. Because they're obviously planning to change that name and revealing the name. But, you know, I can obviously build a prototype, put it on, don't tell anybody, let the setters know, keep an eye on things, you know. And what else would be interesting? Let's be the most short IDs per puzzle. Yeah, well, you know, that's a start. And then if we put them all together, that's already something we can put it on a page, and it's might be interesting, right? And the nice thing is we'll just create this on a particular... I mean, if I do it per day, it might not be enough to be interesting, and it might also tempt people to just run a script to fetch it all the time and generate data over time and all this stuff. Which we don't really want, you know? But it's something. It's something. What it doesn't include data now from is the counters themselves. So, like, it doesn't give us the most played puzzle, right? And this is more from a setting side perspective. So these numbers might not be super interesting for like visitors of the site. But it gives me something to get the page started and gives me something to talk about and let people know. And then the plan is to solicit feedback from the community and let them figure out exactly what they would like to see on this page. I mean, that's what it's all about. All right, I feel like I'm finally making progress towards this. I've been thinking about this for quite a while now, but I gotta call it here. It's getting late. I'm super tired. It's 9 o'clock, and time to finish out the day. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for Josh Azuki for stopping by. I really appreciate the kudos. And that's it. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Bye-bye. Have a good rest of your day.